Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Taurus March 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month we have an interesting deck, quite interesting backs on it. You'll have a look at those in just a second. Which is called Raphael or Raphaelite or something like that. I can't recall. I don't keep boxes. I just tie the bundles of things up in string as a general rule, those that I use when I'm working. It's a deck that's difficult to determine what the imagery is unless you look quite closely at it, and therefore to determine what the card is. But that doesn't matter because they speak to us all, depending on where they sit, what the astrology is, and of course how they are interacting with each other. So in a sense, the actual pictures themselves are not all that important, but they can be. They certainly can be. Now, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for people from different countries around the world over FaceTime and Skype over the last month. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in having a clairvoyant reading with me, just at the end of the video, check out the description box. Now, I charge for those, but what I do not charge for is the provision of healing. You see, I got the two spiritual gifts at birth, clairvoyance and healing, but healing is to be provided by me on the basis that I don't get anything in return, so I can't charge for it. I can't get a benefit from it. There's no obligation, there's no catch. You won't be recommended any products or services or readings from me or anything else like that. So it literally is the free lunch. And it's no charge. It's something that I'm very happy to do with you. So reach out, don't be afraid. Now, the subscribers know, and it's great to see the subscribers back again, that we only take 5 cards here because they speak enough to us, don't they? We don't just spend 2 seconds on a card. Oh no. They are really quite talkative to us, and so they will be sufficient to give us what we need. And Google should have made sure that there are no video advertisements in the middle of this content, and so you get information that's provided by me in it without interruption, so that you can enjoy the experience. So let's get it underway and show me the magic. The Ace of Wands, 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands. Lots of fire there, isn't there? Lots of fire. Make sure everything's being done okay. I can see what you are, so I'm not going to choose you. It's got to be done properly. See what this is? The Chariot. And finally for you, that may well be the Emperor, I would say. Very difficult to say, but I'd say that's the Emperor. Well, why don't you come now, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together. Is it the Emperor? No, it's not the Emperor, it's the King of Cups. As I say, it's difficult to determine what the thing is immediately because there's no numbers on them or anything. So, I'll bring the camera around. You can sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Okay, Taurus. Wow, you've got a lot of fire energy going on here. Wands, wands, wands. Fire and earth actually get on very well with each other, and they strengthen each other, though the effect can be quite neutral. So what it is it's altogether a complementary set of esoteric suit energy running around in your spread this month. Let me have a look at this card here first. I'd like to deal with people first. He's got a crown on his head. This would be the King of Cups, or who I call the Lord of Waves and Waters, the King of the Hosts of the Sea. Now, I think just off the top what's coming here is that it's asking you to surrender to your beloved ones. There's a capacity for giving here. Reaching higher emotional planes, I think, is something that's going to happen to you. And you may well find that you have ideas or thoughts about spirituality here. Now, there's a great degree of Aquarius and Pisces energy around here. Now, I say Aquarius because there's an independence here. This is giving me the feeling that you might be hard to pin down, but you will nevertheless have quite a humanitarian outlook. And Pisces, well, Pisces is bringing you sensitivity, I think, and pay attention to your dreams at this time. Now, court cards, as you would probably know, can be both male and female. And what I'm getting from this person here is that this is somebody with commitment issues, somebody who's quite likable but passive, somebody who is very attracted to excitement, and someone who can have a sort of an unsustainable enthusiasm for people, for projects, for things, for processes. There's also a person, I think, who is sensitive, but really somebody who may well be quite shallow, actually. Now, the person here is somebody who probably tends to mismanage their practical affairs, and without a lot of luck going their way, their work background could be an unbroken record of disappointment. And this is a person, because he's a king, so esoterically he's fire, and he's in the suit of water, and they conflict with one another. So there may well be mental civil wars going on in there, and that could lead to substance abuse, is what I'm getting. The abuse of stimulants, narcotics may be there. Nevertheless, you will have a highly creative ability to give an expression to your deep emotions this time. His gifts to you are expressions of his moving towards more and more perfect forms of emotional interchange with a partner or with other people or the social environment around you. I think there's also a great degree of family matters which are being dealt with at the moment. But without wanting to defame this person, I think that they are at best loving and generous, supportive and tender, and they actually could be quite capable of a high spiritual achievement. But they're not somebody who is in your life for very long. I will say this about them, and the lesbian and gay audience can make the necessary adjustment, but this is a man who likes the opposite sex. It could be a woman, and the opposite sex likes them. They're charming, but they're not very deep, very much ruled by the emotions and not very practical. And they really do try to get on your good side to get out of paying for their share, if you know what I mean. This is a person, I think, who could be quite intensely insecure and needing constant reassurances. And at worst, this person is unfaithful, fickle, shallow, highly emotional, and possibly unreliable. But nevertheless, the energy around here is suggesting to me that you are now looking for an intensive interchange with those of like mind and a like outlook that you have. You might ask yourself, how can the interchange in your relationships be enriched? Seek your true family, the community in which you feel at home. There you are going to find the quality of communication that you long for. And say this to yourself, because it is true that I am now finding the contact that I need. Now, I suspect that that person could be having an effect upon you. It could be an Aquarius, it could be Pisces, but not necessarily so. Just those energies do jump up at me. I'm looking at this card here. This is the Ten of Wands. Well, more importantly to me is the astrology of the card, where it is sitting And it is Saturn ruling the third decan of Sagittarius, the 13th to the 22nd of December. Now, Sagittarius, as you probably know, wants to expand and express its optimism and its spiritual side. And Saturn on one view is all about restriction. And so it represses the expansive nature of Sagittarius. There is a feeling here of you may be having some repressed feelings that may be directed towards this person here. There's an energy which is being held back. You could also have the feeling of being overburdened or taking on too much, feeling the pressure. You might think that it is the case that you have no control over circumstances, or actually you could be a victim of your own success, you know. Now, this energy here is one that you do overcome, and overcome to great effect. But to unwrap this energy further, when this energy is around, it suggests that you could well be, as I say, be feeling overwhelmed or stressed or challenged with the burdens of life, the heavy weight of responsibilities, endless tasks, or dealing with somebody. You might think that you've taken on more than you can handle, and as you struggle to get ahead, you feel like you are taking one step forward and two steps back. You might be overextended, your energy is feeling depleted as the demands of life await your attention. Now, there is a feeling of oppression around here, which is challenging you to move beyond your present situation. And again, I get this feeling it's related to a person that's here. Well, the way to understand this is to recognize sort of oppressive and unproductive habits and patterns in how you deal with events and people, and shift them, transforming them into new insights and empowering yourself in the process. And if you do that, you break karmic blocks and reclaim and balance your life force, expanding it into a world of action, which is foretold here. Now, it may well be that you think, let me say this though, what your life is what you think it is. Let me say that again. Your life is what you think it is. So don't get caught up in mental. Program yourself for success and for optimism. You see, the heavy burdens of life and dealing with people can also bring the opportunity to connect with your soul self, finding your life's true path to freedom and liberation. You are the driver of your physical vehicle. I can see this sitting down here, this chariot that's there. And if you keep your center, your heart, mind, and spirit in alignment, balanced with your daily activities, you will navigate through any challenge that comes up with events that are around you. Now, there's nothing catastrophic here, but you could be being annoyed by somebody, is what I'm getting here. Now, this is the suit of wands in this 10 here, and this fiery, masculine energy, it needs to be contained and balanced to express itself in a productive fashion. Now, the number 10, of course, represents completion and new beginnings. And the 10 of Wands' mission is to stop the sabotaging and defeating patterns, to transform your shadow aspect and empower yourself for the new stage of growth. Now, I will say this, that whether you are consciously repressing yourself or not, recognize that there is much more which you would like to express, to experience, to enjoy and celebrate. It is a time for you to dare. The danger here is to lose faith in yourself and in your ability to get what you want. Now, sometimes there can be a person here that's putting you down or trying to dominate your spirit. Don't permit that to happen. Life is too short. I think that there are some things you have always wanted to say to certain people. Now, what are those things, and who are those people? And I think you can, for the time being, just for yourself, express those things right now. And say this to yourself: I have the right to follow my feelings and life impulses. Now, I looked at that chariot before, didn't I? So let's have a look at it now in some detail rather than just as a passing point. Here we have. Now, there's what's interesting about this chariot here? Let's have a look at what you have to say to my friend. Well, I think this is for me anyway, the child of the power of the waters, the lord of the triumph of light. This is speaking of a new beginning for you, a change for the good, some looking within, but certainly a triumph in the face of adversity and overcoming problems. You're going to have success, though, I think, with little or no support from anybody else. You might also find that you are coming to the aid of somebody else. Now, what's interesting here is just looking at the picture that the driver sits in a sort of a meditation posture in a chariot that has not yet begun to move. And he's holding this magic wand in his hand. And what the driver is doing is he, or it could be a she, is examining all possible consequences before daring to set the chariot in motion on a new beginning. You see, these horses are standing there. The chariot isn't moving. Now, this new beginning, once you have chosen to start, you'll find that there is no turning back. Nothing will be able to stop the journey. Now, this energy is talking about imminent, that is, just coming in, new beginnings. It could point to a journey or the start of some new phase, such as in a relationship or a living situation or in the work, a new phase of life. Nothing should be decided hastily at the moment, because as this person is doing, they're looking out and surveying the landscape, as far as I can make out. Everything requires exact examination and preparation, but once you've done all the necessary groundwork, the new start should not be put off unnecessarily, because everything here points towards favorable developments. Now, there's no doubt that you'll have a victory over adversity. Now, I think you've probably come through something of a difficult period, but you overcome it, and you have the courage to act. And having the courage to act, of course, is important. It's not much point just having the intention to act. You need to have the desire to make things happen. And you are going to have success over previous negative patterns. Interestingly, I think there could be something of a focus on self-discipline at this time. But you will be, after a moment or two of rest and recuperation, find that you are moving towards higher goals. Now, what I would say is that in times of breakthrough or new beginnings, you need the protection and support of a loving atmosphere, which provides a sense of safety and security. There's a lot of cancer around here. And cancer, of course, is the crab which has that shell, which protects it and provides it with security. But the oncoming change, I think, brings with it much excitement and some unrest, of course. And this is a time to avoid chaotic or disorganized or loveless relationships. Now, the new start leaves behind the boring routine of daily life. Inspiration and ideas are going to come to you all the time now, and you're going to expand your areas of activity. I think that despite this is a turning point in your life now. The road upon which this chariot stands is one that is golden here. And this is the royal path travelled by every spiritual seeker in search of self-knowledge and inner transformation. Look, I think that what's going on here is that the oncoming change promises to lead to a positive phase of your life. So ready yourself. Put your affairs in order. Examine all the possibilities at your disposal, because I think you are going to leave a lot behind. Now, what area of your life will be changing? Are you ready to ring out the old and ring in the new? And seek or create for yourself a loving, secure environment. There you can plan the change or the journey that you want to undertake. It's got the feeling here also that your body needs to have some attention and activity now as well. Say this to yourself: I motivate others positively. I am responsible for what I cause. I accomplish things well and with ease. I am putting my life in order and preparing for the new beginning. Now, sorry about that one. I just bashed my head into it. Let me see what's here. That's underneath it. I get your planet here. I get your planet of Venus. And I get Venus in the third decan of Aries, I would say. So your planet of Venus, sweet, lovable Venus, going into Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Now you might think that that is a problem, because Venus, although Venus is in detriment in Aries, Venus is not only in your sign of Taurus, but it's also in Libra, and so it's opposed to Aries. Now, Venus has two aspects to her. When we see Venus in the evening, she is the personification, the spiritual manifestation of the power to attract, to bring to you the things that you want, being love, relationship, money, good things of life. When she's in the morning star, that is when she rises before the sun, I see her as being the warrior queen. And it is in this aspect that I see her here, sitting well with the warrior of Mars in Aries. Now this Four of Wands here, I think, brings celebration, achievement and reward for you. I think that there's a passion of yours that you realized, and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor at the moment. You feel joyful, free, energized, and happy. All is well, and life is good. Plenty of wine, food, comfort. Now, the way to look at this energy and to make use of it is to take time out and enjoy your success. But also keep in mind that planning your next move, as we saw here, is crucial to turn up, to mix up the creative energies, to ensure that there are future achievements that you can make. And when you do that, you will be rewarded with prosperity, with celebration, contentment, and harmony. Now, this is really speaking of development and growth. You're on the right track and making progress. Now, through hard work and I have to say, some enthusiasm, really, well, you've really created, haven't you, a successful accomplishment. Well, this brings renewal and development for you. New ideas, strengths, and concepts. Now, because this card has entered in the middle of the deck here, I think that this is also saying that you've completed something with great success and fulfillment and rewards are going to flow to you. You are, in a sense, free from deadlines, from restraints, and from limitations. Well-being, high energy, and stamina and endurance are yours. And this also speaks to me of social engagements, fun, hospitality, maybe weddings, birthdays, births, anniversaries. Your achievements give you a moment to breathe and take in the success. But don't sit around for too long, otherwise you're going to miss out on any new opportunities that are coming. But I think that this indicates that when the time is right for you to grab hold of the opportunity and move forward to a new chapter in life. I would also say that something beautiful is making its way into your relationships. Now, you may notice at first as the everyday routines are called into question and they're talked about openly. You see, sorting out the old is necessary to bring about a new oneness, a new beginning. And you might ask yourself this: are you really prepared to accept your partner or friend as they are, in spite of your differences? And what areas are in urgent need of clarification or resolution? And if there is some tension between you and somebody else, now is a good time to clarify and resolve the interaction and complete the old. And say this to yourself: completing the old frees me to enjoy the new. Now we come finally, I think it's finally, isn't it, to this Ace of Wands. See, such good energy here. I've got to say that I think Leo, Cancer and Virgo are likely to have some importance to you at this time. Now this is the Ace of Wands. Fire, high and strong energy, the creative spark, new projects, new starts, passion, and a passionate union probably, and your vital and sexual forces will be surging. Now, I think that if all obstacles are out of the way, which you will have done, I think, through this process here, you'll find that renewal in all areas of your life will take place. And this revitalizing power fills your entire being with new light. Now it is important for the free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet. Now you can use the energy only if you have a goal towards which you can direct it. Now the next step after releasing the blocks is to find the right framework in which to set this energy to work. Now this energy sitting here for you really does set on fire action, passion and will to push outward on the journey of life. This raw masculine energy brings feelings of restlessness probably, drive and courage. Now this really represents the energy of the divine, which awakens the Kundalini life force within you. Now the way to understand this is to take advantage of the surge of energy that's being presented to you and face any challenge with vitality and courage. And as a result, there'll be the dawning of a new day and possibilities. This awakens the spirit within you, kindling your passion to focus on new possibilities and creations. And this ignites transformation, spiritual truth, confidence, and physical strength and endurance. You will be channeling powerful energy that brings vitality, courage, will, and an eagerness to launch new concepts in here. You might also hear the birth of a child, or it could be the birth of an idea of a project. But this, in a sense, mirrors the explosion of creation. What a fantastic set of cards for you. Didn't you do a good job? Yes, you did a really good job in that reading, and what a fantastic and interesting month it looks like it's going to be for you, and don't you deserve it? It's great to see you. And you deserve all the good things in life, really you do. Now, unless I see you privately for a reading or a healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.